To your brain, that's like a random stranger walking through your front door. Truly, nobody has a clue what's going on. Your brain is going to treat those fears as facts, and you will get nowhere. Hi everyone, my name is Gigi, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to cope with the unknown. Now, I've touched on the past on the fear of the unknown, but in this video, I'm going to fully break down how to cope with the unknown, how to build your mindset to fully expect everything, but also not overthink every possibility. Now, it's a pretty common thing to fear the unknown, to hate the idea that you don't have answers to everything. We could be talking about simply stepping outside on a day-to-day basis, not knowing what lies out there for you. We could be talking about starting a new relationship and not knowing what's after that. We could be talking about the in-between, from uni to getting a job. There's so many different areas of the unknown. The unknown is simply something the brain is not sure of, the uncertainties of life. But these uncertainties that happen on a daily basis can send you into a spiral. So having a good mindset around the unknown is what gets you through life without having those extreme hurdles and anxieties. Now, the unknown seems so terrifying because the brain is literally built on being safe. Your brain will do anything to know everything so it can feel safe, so it can feel comfortable around whatever situation you're in. So to not know the answers, to be uncertain, means you are unsafe. This is the reason why your brain creates habits, cycles, routines, because it knows what to do, how to do it, and how to feel while doing it. If you introduce something new, introduce a different feeling to the body, introduce a different loop, your brain is going to freak out because it is the unknown. To your brain, that's like a random stranger walking through your front door. Of course you're going to panic. Of course you're going to want to know everything about them. And you might even want to get them out. All to feel safe again. All to feel comfortable. And when things are unclear, when you're unable to find out an answer or you haven't had the time to figure it out yet, your anxiety is going to increase. You're going to overthink every single possibility until you find one that fits. You're going to try and control everything so you know and bring that safety back. And you're going to obsess over every little detail. The idea of trying to solve what your brain deems unsolvable for that time is what's going to make you spiral. Your brain all the time is quite literally trying to make sense of everything around you. Your environment, sounds, people, the way things feel. Your brain is constantly making sense of every single one of your senses. Your brain is built to do that. So when you introduce something that it doesn't know what to think of, its number one goal is to solve it. You've probably experienced this before when you've been dying to know the answer to something and you literally will sit for hours thinking about it. What if it's this? What if they meant this? What if they did this for this reason? And around it goes. Situations go from being a tiny little thing to the biggest thing imaginable because your brain is exploring every single situation it could be, every single outcome, every single reason, just to understand why something was a certain way. The thing is that life is completely unknown, and a lot of people don't realize how much of life is actually unknown. Our brains solve the smallest little things without us even realizing. The smallest little uncertainties go unnoticed because our brains solve them automatically. We fill in the gaps automatically. But in fact, life is one complete unknown thing to us. We never truly know what life has in store, what's next for us. Truly, nobody has a clue what's going on. We all just get up, do our thing, and take whatever comes at us. But some things we feel like we need to have certainty, there should be certainty with. Things like relationships, next career steps, family, opportunities that are presented to us. All of these things cause us to spiral. All of these things are missing pieces to our lives. Things that we don't know the answer to, we don't know the next steps of. So we create these fantasies in our heads. We fill the gaps of unknown with what we think is known to us. We make up situations in our heads just so there's not a missing blank space. But the difference between someone not spiraling over it and someone who is spiraling over it is not that one person knows their life more than the other. It's simply one person has more confidence to know that no matter what happens, they will be okay. And that is the mindset that you need to progress further without having this massive fear of the unknown. For you to continue through life without constantly spiraling at every blank space that your brain has around a situation, you need to feel confident and trust yourself enough to know that no matter what situation happens, you will be okay. The biggest thing out of all of this that you have to understand is that you have to let go of the idea of control. You cannot, and I promise you, cannot control absolutely everything that happens in your life. You cannot control situations. You cannot control what people think about you, how they look at you, how they judge you or not judge you. You cannot control if you get a certain job, if you get a certain person in a relationship, if your crush likes you or not. You cannot control how other people react. You cannot control getting answers for every single question you have about life. The more you force that, the more that you have the idea that you have control and you have to have control over every single one of those things, the more anxious you will feel when you don't. The more lost you will feel when you don't. The idea is that you cannot control situations, but you 100% control how you react to situations. And that is the confidence of knowing that no matter what happens, you will be okay because you know how to react. You know that no matter what, you're going to be fine. So how do you cope with the unknown? The first thing you're going to do is immediately stop trying to solve your entire future. Plan out every single step of the rest of your life. Stop it. You are single-handedly causing yourself so much overthinking, so much anxiety, and so much spiraling simply by trying to plan out your entire life. All of the what ifs of, what if I don't get that job? What if I don't have enough money? What if I don't find the love of my life? What if I can't do this or I can't do that? Stop it. You need to focus on one thing and one thing only. What is the next step? Not what is the next 10 steps, or 20 steps, or the next leap. We're talking about the very next step to where you currently are. That could look like the next minute of your day, the next hour of your day, simply the next month. The reality is you do not need an entire future plan to survive your next 24 hours, to survive your next hour even. You just need to know your next step. So if you find yourself stressing, if you find yourself getting very anxious over the future, what your plans are, how you're going to do things, stop and ask yourself, wait, what am I doing in the next hour? What am I going to eat for lunch? Slow your life down. This is not about winning. This is about understanding your next step. The next thing you're going to do is separate possibility from probability. If you fear something and you start overthinking it, thinking of every possible outcome and usually the worst outcomes, your brain is going to treat those fears as facts and you will get nowhere. You won't have to worry about the unknown because the unknown won't even be in the picture. Your brain and your physical self would have run away from it. It's very important to remember that possibility simply means it's one of a million different outcomes. Literally 1 in a million. Just because there's a possibility of it happening doesn't mean it's likely. And just because you're anxious about something, just because you've sat with something for ages and let your feelings and your thoughts spiral, doesn't mean it's a prediction of what's going to actually happen. I cannot tell you how many times I've had literal anxiety attacks about something, and it's been completely fine. In fact, I've even literally said, oh, that wasn't that bad. The next thing is to build self-trust, not outcome-based trust. A lot of us think that just because something turned out right or it went well, that we trust that thing because of that outcome. This is why a lot of us stay doing the same things every single day, because we trust that the outcomes are good with those situations. But because of that idea in our heads that we know this is good, the outcome of this is good, so we're going to continue doing this, means you will stay stuck in the same loops, in the same routines, even if they don't benefit you, just because you know the outcomes. You will never go further or push yourself out of your comfort zones. However, if you have self-trust and not just trust in the outcomes, you will know that whatever outcome happens, good or bad, you will be okay. You can control yourself, you know yourself, and you can control how you react to things. It will bring you peace no matter what happens because you trust yourself, rather than I'm only okay because this went well, because the outcome is good. But what if the outcome was bad and you don't have self-trust? Exactly. That is why it's so important to build your self-trust and not attach it to particular things. I have a whole video on self-trust if you want to watch it, but it's very, very important with your entire healing journey to learn how to trust yourself. The next step is to learn how to be within uncertainty. Some people, when they're surrounded by uncertainty, they don't know their next steps, they don't know how to react, they don't have the full situation, they're already spiraling, already overthinking, start to do very impulsive things because they want an answer, because they want to know how to feel, they want to solve it as quickly as possible. They just start making random decisions to feel something, to do something, to try and take control. But because of this, they often tend to make the wrong decision, a decision that sets them back, that upsets people, that makes a situation worse. So instead of constantly, impulsively trying to do something just to do something, to make further sense of it, sit back, allow yourself to be uncertain, allow yourself not to understand everything around you, and stop trying to solve things. There are some things in life where you literally will never know the answer to. You will never understand why someone did something, why someone said something, why a job didn't pick you. But instead of focusing on that, focusing on just being within yourself, looking within, searching within. How do I feel good about myself? Rather than paying attention to the negative of maybe not getting into the job that you wanted, not being accepted by your crush, or being broken up with, focus on how can I move forward? Why do I need answers? What are the answers even going to give me? Closure? Feel better about myself for 2 seconds? Finally, you're going to stop abandoning the rest of your life because you're solely focusing on this one thing. You would be surprised at how many people simply stop whatever they're doing, stop progressing, stop pushing themselves simply because they're stuck on understanding one thing. The obsession of needing to know why someone did something or why this situation happened. They stay stuck in that exact time of their lives, that era, that pain, because they feel like they are owed an answer and an understanding of why whatever happened, happened. They will pause their healing, pause moving on, pause going to something better, simply because they feel like they deserve happiness from the situation, and understanding and closure. But sometimes, like I mentioned before, that never comes. There's not always answers to everything. And sometimes when you do get an answer, it's not what you expected. And because of that, you feel like you've been let down. That closure never comes. That peace never happens. And then you've just wasted a whole year, 2 years, 6 months, whatever amount of time that you've put your life on pause for nothing. So you can experience the unknown. You can have uncertainties in life, but they don't have to be the main theme of your life. You don't have to revolve your whole life about being the person that doesn't understand something, hasn't gotten closure from something. Focus on what truly means happiness to you, rather than waiting for that from the situation that you don't know about, you don't know the outcome of. Focus on the good things that you have in life that already bring you happiness. Do you have a great family that support you? Do you have a holiday coming up with your friends? Are you having a really good meal tonight? It could be as simple as that. The biggest takeaway from all of this that I learned when it comes to the unknown is often where your biggest growth happens. A lot of people's biggest transformations happen at periods of their life where they have no idea what's next. They have no idea what's currently happening. During that time, you're able to truly discover everything about yourself. The good, the bad, the ugly. You're able to understand how you work, how your brain puts things together. You can find out that maybe you don't have the best mindset. You need to fix that. Maybe you have unresolved trauma that you need to go to therapy for. This uncertainty period of your life is what transforms you. My light just died. So if you needed another example of uncertainties, my light just died and I didn't expect that. But I'm gonna continue on because I trust myself that I don't necessarily need that light to continue on with this video. Anyway, as I was saying, that era of your life where you truly have a chance to rebuild what you do know, what you have understood about yourself, what you do know is good in your life, and the things that you might have to change to make it better. So no, uncertainty does not mean that your life is falling apart just because you don't know everything. And no, you're not succeeding at life just because you haven't found the answers to something. Sometimes the answer to uncertainties in life are the fact that they're uncertainties, and that's okay. Everyone experiences this, and everyone has growth because of this. So rather than seeing uncertainties as this big negative thing in your life, view them as this beautiful process of growth, that you needed these things, these eras of your life, these situations that you don't understand to grow into a better version of yourself. That's all from me today. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to comment down below and I will try and get back to every single comment. Don't forget to subscribe and I will see you in the next one. Bye.